Oh God! Maybe don't tell me when you're actually starting because I might get scared. We've got a bit of history. You knew my mother really well.
Yeah.
And also, you know, you've modelled for me for work yet to materialise, but one of them has been transformed into my embroidery.
Oh really? So am I going to
that.
see something new today?
I'm going to see something new.
Slightly nervous, but also excited. So where would you like to start, Michele, today, and how would you like to, start telling us about your work and your history?
Well, I want to talk about my family history. So that would be looking at my parents' wedding photograph, which it was taken in 1953 when they got married, and is very unusual because they're a mixed race couple, and there weren't too many at that time, and it caused a lot of trouble in her family. But we won't go into too much history because they were perfectly happy. And also to look at my family history. So here's a photograph of me and my late husband, Brian Taylor, who was a sculptor, and that is quite a long time ago. In fact, sometimes my children say, "Who's that, Mum?" So it's a little bit worrying. I took a degree at Camberwell College of Art.
Okay.
And that's where I met my husband, who was also my tutor, which is a scandalous story. And
I absolutely love it. That's great.
Anyway, I told him I was going to marry him, and he didn't really have any choice. So after that, we had our 3 children, and these are like different images of the family here.
And you spoke about earlier, having this photograph of Mum and Dad, being an interracial couple and how controversial that was at the time.
Yes.
And then, they were quite, very sort of vigilant protesters of your dad of environmental subjects,
right,
and your mum more of race and...
Talked about, yes. Yeah. I mean, so that situation is, he was a peace protester all his life, but they did meet on a ban the bomb march. So she was already in that, in that field. But because of her racial history, in her autobiography, she has written all about the civil rights movements and her involvement in that history, American history, because she's American. And you can see from this photograph here,
wow.
This is her great-grandfather and great-grandmother. He's obviously African American, and she's a Native American Indian. The family history is something that we like to remember and talk about, obviously because she did, but also because if you look white, as I do, people don't realise your history, and they say the most unbelievably racist things to you. We won't go into that, but it is extraordinary how people feel free to assume that, I'm Greek or Italian or something. And then they just
talk bad.
Yeah, they talk about bad things about anyone of colour, which is depressing. But you have to put them right. My self-portrait is the thing that sort of identified me as a young person, with obviously looking mixed race when my hair was really short, and that changed my view of how people saw me, because I realised people saw me differently when they thought I was mixed race, as opposed to when my hair's longer, it doesn't look African in any way. So they treated me differently. I suppose we should put in, this is Henrietta Franklin. So she is my grandfather's mother, and she's the other really important woman because she, with her sister, founded the liberal Jewish synagogues.
Right.
So she was a really modern woman. And she supported the suffragists. She was a really powerful woman, and they were very wealthy. So they did a lot for Jewish people and education, and she did a lot for women as well. So these amazing historical figures have really affected me. I mean, on the one hand, my father's family, very wealthy, very privileged, and my mother's family really didn't have money. They were Christians, and so these two different worlds was the world that we grew up in. I want to talk about the embroideries. It was when I went to Spain to look after my brother when he had cancer. During COVID, I'd started designing this embroidery, which is called luchadora, which is it means powerful fighting woman. And this is a word I learned while I was in Spain from a woman who was looking at this embroidery. We were talking about looking after people with cancer, and she said, "Oh, you're a luchadora." And I loved the word and the fact that it exists.
Now, does this dare I say it, cock has a name. Did we say cockerel?
The cockerel, yeah. It's just called
So
cockerel.
sorry. Let's just cut that out, please.
That's going in.
Yeah, it is a cockerel, yes, it's a cockerel. Well, I know it is hard to know what to say.
Oh,
No, it doesn't, it's just a cockerel. This is a recent one, which I'm going to show you, even though it's not finished.
that's quite emotional.
Yeah, well, I've got so many lovely drawings of you.
Oh,
Sabrina,
stop.
you know.
No, don't. Because this is based on The Mermaid of Black
Yeah,
Conch, the book,
there, by Monique Ruffy, yes.
which is a beautiful, wonderful book.
It is, yeah.
I mean,
So it's
the
coming along at a
detail on
slow
that
pace.
is just...
Well, it's a lot of. I mean, the trouble is that the skin and all of this area has to be done with a single thread,
Golly.
because you can't get even. And it's, to me, it's still a bit too crude, but hopefully it will start to take more
You
of a
can
shape.
see it
when
all
it's-
coming together. I
yeah.
love all the foliage and that she's immersed underwater. She
Yes.
being me.
Yes, exactly. And
Does
so
that
this is
happen?
the first of many, I hope, Sabrina. This is after I had my first child. I did a whole series of paintings of birth, and this is about as pretty as they get. So the baby's coming out, she's not happy, there's a lot of pain, and that's what birth was like for me. And I was really annoyed after giving birth that nobody talked about these things before or after. Psychologically, it's a very unexplored area, and when I did get a little article published that I'd written about it in a Women Artists magazine, I was quite pleased. But again, I just felt no one's listening, no one's interested. It's another women's thing that people don't want to hear about. Obviously this is like over 30 years ago. So thank goodness things are moving on.
Moving on.
To start the Holocaust series, this is one of the drawings that I got. This is, well, I don't know if we can actually see that, it's very heavy. But so I did this, is called Out of the Darkness. And everything to do, obviously, with those drawings was quite dark, and you've got these elongated sort of skeletal figures, and this woman, I feel that she is floating up into an escaped world, but it's a fire underneath her, and there's sort of ghouls and people on the side, so it's a scary image. What I always say about a really important work of art is that it draws you in, as you have said, and then you see more. You see more and more, and because the artist is in control of that, and they are making you look at what they see, and it can be very uncomfortable. But all art is not meant to be pretty.
Do you get frustrated with a lot of your pieces, or?
Oh yes, and in fact, if you don't get frustrated with a piece, it's never good. But at the time, it very often feels impossible. And other times, your past experience helps you, but it's always unpredictable when that's going to happen. Most of the time, you're on a struggling road, and with the still lives or with other subjects, it's the same.
What makes you keep going?
Well, I love doing it, but also it's a journey of discovery.